Good morning, welcome back to my channel. I'm back at my allotment plot today. It's Saturday, and as you can see, the sun is absolutely splitting the stones today, so isn't that amazing for the first week in March? So anyway, I'm back on the plot. I have got my broad beans with me. I've been growing them at home. See them here. I'm going to plant them out today, but I have realised that I have forgotten to bring string or some kind of tying device for my canes, so I'm not going to be able to put my canes in today. But anyway, I'm sure they'll be fine for a few days without canes, as long as it doesn't get too windy. So anyway, I'm off to the plot, and I'm going to bring you with me, so I'll see you there. So this is what I am here to plant out today. This is my broad beans, which I've been growing for a couple of weeks in the house. So, and this is where I'm going to put them, a little bed that I dug out in the last video there. So I've only got 10 plants, so I'm sure that's plenty space for them. I've been picking out some rather large stones in the ground as well whilst I was going over it there. So this is me popping them in the ground using a dibber. I'm just making a hole big enough for them. So you'll see that I plant them in the little cardboard plant pots. So not a huge fan of them because they do get some kind of mould or whatever, and they rot quite quickly. So, but anyway, they're amazing for just transporting things straight into the ground, and then they'll obviously decompose once they're in the ground. So it's much kinder for the plant to not be disturbed whilst being popped into the ground. So they're a wee bit leggy, so I've dug holes quite far down to set them in quite deep. And as I say, I've got 10 of them to plant out. I did plant out 10 seeds, and 8, now how did I work it? Yes, 8 of them germinated, and no, 9 of them germinated out of the 10, which is amazing. So I popped another seed in one of the little cardboard pots just during the week there, so it hasn't even popped through. So you will see later on that I do actually pop that one into the ground as well. So I'm just crossing my fingers that one will still make its way through to the surface. But 9 out of 10 initial sowings is actually quite good. So I'm just popping my dibber in again to make a hole again. The ground is really quite clay, so it's quite hard to push down quite far in it. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm popping them all into their new home for the summer. I found a little worm, so pop that back to the same spot that I found it, because it's obviously enjoying life in that little bit of my plot. And so here I go, I'm still dibbing away. Sorry, this is torture, making you watch this and not speeding it up, but yeah, I'm just torturing you watching me do this. I'm almost done, but you can see the roots. I don't know if you can see that the roots are popping through the cardboard pots already, and actually did that from a very early stage. A few days in, the roots started popping through before the broad beans started coming through the top there. So they're very well established, but as I say, they're just a wee bit leggy, so I'm hoping that they will do the job nicely. So I'm almost done. I've just got the next, I think I've maybe got 4 more to go. Next time I do something like this, I will speed it up because I know this is torture. Anyway, I'm almost there, and then you'll see me potting on, planting out the empty one. So I am hoping, as I say, that one will still pop its head through the surface. If not, I'm going to plant some more at home to plant out later as well. So I'll definitely have enough for myself and my family for broad beans this summer, hopefully. So I'm just sorting out the soil here. As I said, it's a bit lumpy and a bit clayey. And there we go. There's how I've planted them out, 2 rows of 5. And you'll see that they probably could do with a cane or something in there, but as I say, I forgot to bring the string to tie the canes together, so I'll do that the next time. but I'm sure they will survive a few days. So dibber back on the shelf, trying to keep the shed neat and tidy. And then this is a vintage cultivator that was left by the previous plot holder. So I'm using this for the first time. This whole front section here is really compacted, and I've just been walking on it the whole time that I've had the plot. So I'm going to just scratch the surface with the cultivator and just break it up a little bit. And just really to make it look a bit neater and tidier as well. I don't want the other plot holders thinking that I'm not really doing much when I'm there. So I'm just giving it a little till over. And the first time I've used a cultivator like that, so actually it was really great. It was really easy. And it didn't take me too long just to do that small section. But what I did find when I was cultivating it was a few potatoes popped up. That's me showing you them to the camera there. So I came away with, I think, 6 potatoes, but I stabbed a couple of them. So that ruined those potatoes. But I am going to keep a hold of them, and I'm going to chit them, and then I'm just going to chuck them back in the ground or in a potato bag and see if they produce crop for me this year. So this is me now I've done it. It looks a million times better than all that kind of compacted stuff, and I've picked out some of the weeds. This is a pile of stones, so I need to scrape that away and get rid of them. There's still some iris popping up, so I'll get in there and get rid of those. But this is my biggest iris clump, so fork ready. Here's the action to try and get this iris out the ground. The last iris was quite a challenge, so I wasn't quite expecting this one to be quite so easy. So one fork under, one lift, and it's all just come away together. So that is quite handy. And so I split it up a little bit and broke it down and put some of it in the compost heap. And then I put the main root ball off to the side because I may bring it home and plant it out in my garden. So here's the potatoes I dug up, and that one's quite big, and it's already starting to take a root there. So I'm just, as I say, I'm going to chit them all and see if I can get a harvest, because that's free food. So we all like free food. So, and I also brought an egg box with me, which was handy. So I've just popped them straight in there just to see if I can get them to fit. And I'm sure it will all be perfectly fine. So I don't even know what kind of potatoes they are, but I'm sure they will be delicious. And as I say, that one started showing some life already. So anyway, I've decided after all that hard work, I need a coffee. So I'm going to take you around Inverleith Park, where my allotment is in Edinburgh. So it's basically, well, pretty much city centre. So the allotments here, I think there's around about 180 plots. So it is a very, very large site. And it sits in the grounds of Inverleith Park, which is just a phenomenal green space in a city, which is used for sports. There's lots of sports field. So, rugby, basketball, lots of fitness classes take place there, lots of dog walkers. And it's just a very, very well used park. It's beside the Botanic Gardens, so it's a lovely area, and you can see all these rugby pitches here. So I'm just taking a stroll through the park, and then on the right hand side there is where I'm heading to. Here we go. It's the Milk Coffee Hut. So I have had coffee here numerous times. This is Edinburgh Botanics that I'm showing you now, the Botanic Gardens. So got my latte, and then off to the right here is the allotments, but I've just taken a wee swing to the left just to show you the Inverleith Pond. It's been drained just now. I'm not sure if they're cleaning it, so there's not much water in it. But normally there's boats, remote control boats going on. There's swans. So there are some swans. I'm zooming in here. There's some swans, but there's not a huge amount of water there for them just now. So I'm expecting that they'll do something about the water levels quite soon. But look at all these beautiful spring flowers coming through. It's just lovely. There were so many people in the park today, sitting on the grass, drinking coffee, meeting friends. It was just ideal. So anyway, I'm back in my plot, having my coffee, looking over my plot again. And then I am watering in those broad beans. Now I know like I'm just watering, it looks like I'm watering mud here, but that's the one that hasn't popped through yet that I'm watering. And it was quite tricky watering. The watering can was quite heavy, so camera in one hand and watering in the other, so it looks a bit dodgy. But anyway, they're all well watered and all bedded in, so that's nice. I brought some potatoes from home that had grown some arms and legs in my garage, so I've just popped them all in a box here, and I'm going to just chuck them into a potato sack and see what I get from them as well. So I'm not going to take up space in the allotment plot, but I've got potato bags that I can fill and see how many potatoes I get from them. So this is the area I've been working on today, tilled over, planted my broad beans, watered them. So I know it doesn't seem like an awful lot of progress going on, but I have got lots of things sprouting at home that will be getting put into the plot soon. So please like and subscribe. See you soon.